It's a question that just makes so much sense on the surface. If a country needs money to pay its debts, or if people are struggling to get by, why can't the government just print more? It seems like such an easy fix, but what if I told you that simple fix could absolutely wreck an entire economy? Well, today, we're going to find out exactly why.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the question itself. Then, we're diving straight into the big reason this is a bad idea, inflation. I've got a super simple story about bread that's going to make it all click, I promise. After that, we'll look at some real-world examples where things went horribly wrong. And finally, we'll talk about how economies are actually supposed to grow.
Okay, let's get right into it with the question that probably brought you here in the first place. And seriously, it's a completely fair question to ask. We all use money to buy stuff, so more money should mean we can buy more stuff, right? Well, not quite. See, the real value of a dollar isn't the number printed on it. The real value is all about what you can actually buy with it. And that's where this whole idea starts to fall apart. And that's because of something called inflation. This one concept, right here, is the single biggest reason why just hitting print on a nation's currency is so dangerous. So, what even is inflation? Well, the simplest way to think about it is this. It's when prices for everything start to go up, which means the money you have in your pocket is suddenly worth less. That $10 bill doesn't go as far as it did last week. This happens when you've got a whole lot more money chasing the exact same amount of goods and services. It really just boils down to basic supply and demand. Think about it, right? If there's a ton of something available and not many people want it, the price is going to be low. But flip that around. If something is super rare and everybody wants it, the price is going to shoot through the roof. Well, printing money is like giving everyone in the crowd a bigger pile of cash to fight over the exact same limited stuff.
Okay, I know that can still feel a little bit abstract, so let's make this crystal clear. Let's forget about big, complex economies for a minute and zoom in on a tiny village that really only cares about one thing: bread.
So here's the setup. It's a perfectly balanced little world. You've got 5 people, and there are exactly 5 loaves of bread for sale. Each person has $5, and wouldn't you know it, each loaf of bread costs $5. Perfect. Everyone can buy 1 loaf. But then the village leader has a brilliant idea. Let's make everyone richer. So they just print up a bunch of new cash and double everyone's money. It's like a mini stimulus check for our little village. And just like that, every single person now has $10. They feel twice as rich. They're marching down to the bakery, ready to spend all this new cash. But here's the kicker. The bakery didn't magically get more flour or a bigger oven. There are still only 5 loaves of bread. So now you've got 5 people, each holding $10, all trying to buy from that same small pile of bread. So, what do you think happens to the price? Yep, you already know. The price instantly jumps to $10 a loaf. I mean, the baker sees what's happening. 5 people, flush with cash, all wanting one of his 5 loaves. He's going to sell it for the highest price he can possibly get. And this, right here, is the lesson. You suddenly have more money chasing the exact same amount of stuff. The value of every single dollar was just cut in half. So, is anyone actually richer? Not at all. They still get just 1 loaf of bread, but now they have to pay twice as much for it. No real wealth was created because nothing new was actually produced. Now, this little bread story isn't just a hypothetical. This exact thing has happened in the real world many times. And when it gets really bad, it has a name: hyperinflation. And trust me, the results are absolutely devastating. We're going to look at 3 of the most infamous examples: Germany after World War I, Zimbabwe in the late 2000s, and much more recently, Venezuela. In every single case, they tried to print their way out of their problems. Just check this out. In post-war Germany, they started printing money like crazy to pay off war debts. In January of 1923, a loaf of bread cost 250 marks. By November of that same year, a single loaf of bread cost 200 billion marks. People had to use wheelbarrows, literally wheelbarrows full of cash, just to buy groceries. Their entire life savings became worthless. And if you think that sounds bad, take a look at Zimbabwe. Back in 2008, after years of economic chaos, the government just went wild with the printing press. The result? An annual inflation rate of 89.7 sextillion%. That number is so huge it barely even means anything. Prices were literally doubling every few hours. And Venezuela is a tragic recent example. Here's a country with some of the largest oil reserves on the planet. But their entire economy was propped up by high oil prices. So when those prices crashed, their national income just vanished. The government solution?
You guessed it, print money to keep things running. The result was depressingly predictable, hyperinflation that completely destroyed their currency and shattered millions of lives.
So it's pretty clear the printing press isn't some magic button you can push to create prosperity. It's more like a self-destruct button. So if that's not the answer, what is? How do you actually build a wealthy nation?
Real economic growth. It isn't about creating more paper money. It's about creating more value. It's about producing more goods and services. And how do you do that? Well, you invest in things that make your country more productive. You invest in education for your people. You build better roads and bridges. You encourage new technology and innovation. You create an environment where businesses can grow and hire people and, well, produce more stuff. It's not about giving people more money to buy bread. It's about helping the bakery make more bread for everyone.
At the end of the day, it all really comes down to this one question. Money is just a claim ticket for the stuff our society actually produces. If we're not producing more, then all the money in the world is just paper. After all, what's the point of being a billionaire if there's nothing left in the stores to buy?